All right, hey everyone, this is Brendan Lowe coming at you from Jazz Piano School, from inside Jazz Piano School studio, and I'm shooting this video right at the place where I film all my videos. So in this podcast episode number 133, I'm gonna be giving you the 4 must-know, must-have setups for comping in the blues. And this is taken directly from our new blues specialty course I just finished filming and creating called How to Crush the Blues. Now we're gonna be giving this specialty course away for free with our Black Friday offer coming up in just a week. So to know more about the details on that, you gotta be on our email list. So go to jazzpianoschool.com/podcast 133. You'll get the practice materials for this episode, and you'll also get the details on our Black Friday offer so you can get that blues specialty course absolutely free. Okay, with that being said, let's dive right in.
So the 4 areas we're going to be working on here are going to be low end, middle low, middle, and high. Okay, and I'm going to do this super quick. So I'm going to give you 4 comping areas, and again, I'm going to demonstrate with the blues because that's the specialty course we're going to be releasing with our Black Friday sale, which is going to be completely free when you do sign up for our Black Friday sale. But here are the low end comping registers, which can be used over anything, but here is with the blues. So our right hand is going to be using any sort of rootless voicing. So I could use this, I could use this, I could use this. Doesn't matter. Our left hand is going to have bass notes. So it's going to sound like this. Then as we move through the blues, right, my left hand's getting off the camera there with that low end bass note, but this is what it sounds like. So again, we can even be as low as this. Now, I'm leaving out one note here because it kind of muddies the sound, right? So I'm only using a 3-note voicing here. You hear the difference? Right? It's a little muddy, nice and clear. Okay, so 3-note voicings are great down here. But the low-end comping register is going to be right-hand rootless voicings and left-hand bass notes, and here's what it sounds like. Okay, that's the low end sound. Now, obviously, it's so rich, it's so lush, it's so beautiful, and I'm getting that sound with bass notes in my left hand, right hand rootless voicings. Now, I use this comping method in quartets, quintets, anytime there's a bass player, I'm in drummer, I'm still using this. Now, I contrast and juxtapose it with other various textures that I'm about to show you, but that low end is a beautiful, beautiful, rich texture to use. Now, the low middle area is going to be this, okay? So our low middle, we're going to take our rootless voicings or any sort of voicing that you want. We're going to use a drop 2 method, but with the bass note. Okay, so we're gonna use a drop 2 arrangement and then add the bass note in. So here's a drop 2 arrangement. What is a drop 2 arrangement? If you don't know, we're gonna take the second voice from the top. We're gonna drop it down to our left hand, thus the drop 2, right? Second voicing, 2, down into our left hand. Now all we're going to do from here is add in the bass note in my pinky. Now we're still getting this low, rich end texture, but now we've moved up the piano just a little bit. Okay, so from here, if I'm to voice lead this through the blues, my next voicing in my right hand would be this, my rootless voicing here. I'm also going to use a drop 2 here. I'm going to drop that third down to my left hand and add the bass note. Right? So look at that. We have a nice balanced spread that we're moving through these different sorts of voicings, okay? And again, like I said, it can be any sort of voicing. So if I were to take this, okay, I'm going to take my drop 2, I'm going to move that down. And again, the drop 2 is going to be the 7th and the 3rd at all times. That's always going to be the note you want to drop for this particular arrangement style. So you want to take some sort of rootless voicing shape. Like I wouldn't do, let me see. Like I wouldn't do this voicing, right? Even though that can be an F7 voicing. We have the sharp 11, 13, 7, flat 9. If I were to use a drop 2 here, I would be dropping my flat 9 down into my left hand. Okay, that's not what we're working on. You want to use some sort of variation of your rootless voicing so that the 7th or the 3rd, right? 3rd here, 7th here, 3rd, is going to end up in your left hand. So that means your left hand is always playing 1 and 7 or always playing 1 and 3. That's what this low middle voicing texture is going to be like, right? Right? So you can obviously hear it's a nice low middle texture. Now it's one step up from doing this. Right? One step up texturally, comping from our low comping texture, right? Okay, so that's the low middle. Now this is going to be pretty easy because what we're going to do now is to take another step up into our middle register range here. We're just going to use drop 2s here for the most part, but I'm going to give you one other texture as well. So our drop 2s, we're simply not going to add the bass note. So I'm going to take my rootless voicing, I'm going to create a drop 2, and I'm simply going to voice lead through the blues using all drop 2s. All drop 2s, right? Now, obviously, that's a very pure jazz texture. Now, you don't always have to use the drop 2 in this particular high-end register. Sometimes I'll use shells here with my drop 2 rootless voicing. So what do I mean by that? If I have my 3 and 7 here, obviously, instead of doubling the 7 here, I'm going to leave that out and just play my 3-note voicing here. So it's going to sound like this. Now, again, you can shift this. You can do a voicing like this. And different voicings here. Now, it doesn't even have to be basically your rootless voicing, right? You can use any sort of voicing, upper extension triad, whatever you want, depending upon what level you are, with your shells. Your shells in your left hand allow you to do practically anything in your right hand. That's the point of this. But for this middle range here, right? Mostly drop 2s or shells in a right hand voicing. Okay, that's going to be your middle range there. Now, we are finally in the last quadrant. We're going to be in our high voicings. Okay, now with our high voicings, what we're doing is our left hand is going to be using rootless voicings or some sort of 3-note voicing or just our shells. Our right hand is going to have our octave or octave, fifth, and octave. So here's our octave. You can also add the fifth here. And again, you can add your full rootless voicing or 3-note voicing here. Okay, so that's going to be the high-end register. You're not going to be using drop 2s. This is way too high for your drop 2s or rootless voicings with bass notes. You're not going to use any of that up here. You're just going to have your octave or octave and fifth. Right, there's my fifth in the middle. And again, as you saw, I was kind of using an improvised movement line, you know. Right, that's just kind of using the blues scale, but still using octaves, syncing my rhythms with my left hand, right? Both hands are doing the same rhythms. They're not going back and forth. You can also add your octaves, right? Now again, the fifths. Now the thing about the fifths is you can do this. You can add fifths to everything. That's completely okay. But you don't want to get confused by it. You don't want to be thinking about, oh, okay, what's my fifth of this? You know, what's my fifth of this? If it falls naturally and you're at a level to add your fifths, then I highly recommend doing that. Or you can just switch back and forth depending upon what you want to play. The last thing you can do up here is you can play sort of improvised lines. Right? You want to keep them simple because obviously if you're comping for a soloist or something like that, you don't want to get in the way. But it's a really cool texture to have like a counter melody, counter improvised line going on up here in this high register area while there's a soloist playing, right? And it's going to cut through very nicely. Right, that's it. Just very, very simple right-hand lines. in this high register or your octaves, okay? So just to kind of wrap up, go over everything again. We have the low end, we have our rootless voicing, bass notes, okay? Right, really low, rich texture that I love, especially for more, if you're using more sort of gospel chords, right? Right, really, really solid, lush textures. Here in the low middle, we have our drop 2 with the bass note as well. Okay, so our drop 2s with adding our bass note as well. The middle register, we have just drop 2s. Right? Or you can use your shells with some sort of voicing as well. And again, I would recommend using your rootless voicing if you're more of a beginner. If you're not a beginner, you can experiment with more sort of upper structure triads. Right? You can use your 2, whatever you want. Any sort of voicings that you know you can add to your right hand. But here's just a little demonstration of that. Okay, that's the sound you're going to get from that middle register. And finally, again, we have the high register, octave or fifths. And then you have the improvised lines. Okay, so this is actually a lesson taken directly from our new blues specialty course, How to Crush the Blues. We're going to be releasing for free when you sign up for our Black Friday special, which is going to be coming in a couple of weeks. But the only way to know about that is to get on our email list. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to jazzpianoschool.com/podcast133, and that will put you on our email list. You'll also get our Black Friday offer, and you'll get our amazing new blues specialty course completely free. So I hope you guys enjoyed that lesson. Obviously, there will be more details in the emails we're going to send out about our offer, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And obviously, every year we save our very, very best offer for Black Friday. So it's definitely worth at least just checking out. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next podcast episode.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the 4 must-know comping positions to have in the blues. Now, don't forget, go to jazzpianoschool.com/podcast133 to get the practice materials for the episode that I just showed you. And also, you'll get details on our amazing Black Friday offer, which we are giving away our new specialty course, How to Crush the Blues, completely free. Okay, jazzpianoschool.com/podcast133 to get on our email list and get the details about our Black Friday offer. Now, don't forget to hit subscribe down below to get more free podcast episodes just like this one every single week, along with our lick of the week that we release every single Monday as well. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this sneak peek of inside of my office here again. So thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode. And as always, happy practicing.